Hey there. So, you want to learn Japanese, but you're kind of lost on where to even start? Well, you are in exactly the right place. We're about to lay out a super clear, simple path to get you going with confidence. Let's build this roadmap together. Does that question sound familiar? Or maybe you're thinking, how do I even make a sentence? Or do I just watch a bunch of anime? It is so easy to feel completely overwhelmed. These are the kinds of questions that trip up almost every new learner. But hey, don't worry. We're going to sort all of that out right now. So here's our game plan. It's a simple 4-step journey. First up, we're going to decode the writing systems. This is the absolute foundation. Then we'll get into building your word bank, going from single words to actual sentences. After that, we dive into immersion, the really fun part where you actually start using the language. And finally, we'll talk about the secret sauce to making it all stick. Let's do it. All right, first up, the writing systems. And trust me on this, the number one thing you can do to make your life easier down the road is to get a handle on this stuff first. Seriously, this is the foundation for everything that comes next.
Okay, so here's the first thing that blows most people's minds. Japanese doesn't just have one alphabet. It has 3. Yep, you heard that right, 3. And each one has its own specific job to do. Understanding what they're for is the first key to unlocking the whole language. So let's break them down.
Okay, if you remember one thing from this whole section, let it be this. Start with Hiragana, period. This is your true alphabet. It's phonetic, meaning each symbol is just a sound, kind of like in English. It's used for native Japanese words and all the little grammar bets that stick sentences together. There's a reason every kid in Japan learns this first. It's the absolute bedrock of the language. Okay, next up, we have Katakana. And what's super interesting here is you're looking at the character for the ah sound in both systems. See how they look totally different? But they make the exact same sound. So what's the deal? Why have 2 alphabets for the same sounds? Well, here's why. Think of katakana like a special tool you use for specific things. Its main job is to write words that are borrowed from other languages. Words like camera for camera or hotel room for hotel. You'll also see it used for foreign names and for emphasis. Kind of like how we use italics. It's basically the alphabet for anything that's not originally Japanese. So Maddie, who gave us this awesome roadmap, actually shared a pretty funny story about this. She tried to learn katakana first, and she admits it took her 5 whole months. Her advice? Don't be goofy. Don't be like her. Just learn hiragana first. You can knock out its 46 characters in about a week. Easy, not 5 months. And that brings us to the big one, the dreaded kanji. Now, unlike the other 2 systems, which are all about sounds, kanji are different. These characters, which originally came from China, actually represent whole words or ideas. Each symbol has a meaning. Okay, take a deep breath. Yes, there are over 2,000 commonly used kanji, but, and this is super important, you don't learn them all at once. You learn them slowly over time. As a beginner, just focus on learning a few common ones after you get comfy with hiragana and katakana. It's a marathon, not a sprint. All right, with the writing systems covered, let's move on to step 2, building up that word bank. Once you can actually read the basic alphabets, it's time to learn some words and figure out how to stick them together. This right here, this might be the single most important tip for learning vocabulary. Don't just learn words in a list. Learn them in a sentence. Why is that? Well, because context is everything. A word by itself is just a piece of info. A word inside a sentence actually shows you how it works. Let me show you exactly what I mean. So on one side, you've got a flashcard. Inu means dog. Cool, that's useful, I guess. But look at the other side. The dog is running. Now you're not just learning the word for dog, you're seeing how the grammar particle ga works, you're seeing a verb in action, you're learning the whole system, not just one little piece. So much better. Okay, let's tackle grammar for a second. Probably the biggest thing that messes with English speakers' brains is the sentence structure. In English, we say, I eat apples, subject, verb, object. But in Japanese, as you can see, they flip it. It's subject, object, verb. So it's more like I apples eat. Just wrapping your head around that one little flip is a huge game changer. So you're probably wondering, okay, what should I actually use for all this? Here are a few go-to resources that are fantastic for beginners. For quick and free vocab practice, Memrise is great. If you want something more structured with sentences and grammar, the Genki or Tango N5 textbooks are basically the gold standard. And if you just want to drill grammar for free, Japanese Test for You is an awesome website.
All right, time for step 3, immersion. And honestly, this is where things get really, really fun. We're going to break this down into input, which is basically listening and reading, and output, which is when you start speaking and writing. When it comes to reading, you can think of it like leveling up in a video game. You start with the easy stuff, like kids' books that only use hiragana and katakana. Then, once you know a few kanji, you can level up to manga. A lot of manga has something called furigana, those tiny little hiragana characters above the kanji, which is like having built-in hints. And from there, you can use a tool like the Yomi-chan browser extension to start reading actual websites. And for listening, oh man, the sky's the limit. Podcasts, music, anime, your favorite Japanese YouTubers, it's all good stuff. And this is so important because it trains your ear for the sounds of the language and helps you build a natural accent for when you start speaking yourself. But immersion is a two-way street. You can't just take it all in. You gotta put it back out there. That's output. And all the listening in the world isn't gonna make you fluent if you don't actually practice talking. The best way to do this is with a native speaker. If you can't just hop on a plane to Japan, a site like italki is an absolute game changer. It connects you with tutors for one-on-one conversation practice. It will build your confidence like nothing else. And that brings us to our last step. And you know, this might actually be the most important one of all. You can have the best books, the best apps, but none of it means anything without consistency. Let's talk about making your progress actually stick. So this is the big question, right? I mean, we're all busy. We've got jobs, school, life. So what's the real magic number? How much time do you actually need to put in to see results? And you know what? The answer is probably a lot less than you think. Just 10 to 15 minutes a day. And let me be super clear, 15 minutes every single day is way more powerful than cramming for 2 hours on a Sunday. It's all about keeping the momentum going and building that daily habit. It all boils down to this one simple truth. It really is the key. It doesn't matter if it's 10 minutes or an hour. The act of doing it every day is what truly builds momentum and stops you from forgetting everything you've worked so hard to learn. And there you have it, a complete roadmap to take you from absolute zero to having your first conversations in Japanese. The path is all laid out. The only thing left to do is, well, to start. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. So I'm going to ask you, what are you going to do for your 10 minutes today?